Road to Nova. Partry. Produced by Pacificatoris.
Chapter 3. JJ and Harmel. Like pretty much everything in this world, Jake reckoned he needed a foot in the door, an introduction by someone inside. For a week or so, Jake mentally had flipped through his contact book and reasonably concluded that the old friends from Parkside Junior High were the best bet, in particular, one named John Johnson, JJ for short, and Harmel Patel. JJ lived 2 blocks away from Jake. Since he lived in the generally close and contiguous neighborhood, he and Jake walked back home together from Parkside Junior High. They played baseball and basketball in school, but neither of them were that good, although Jake and JJ did try to train hard, as any kid would have done at that age. Hemel was the only son of the Indian couple who owned a motel lodge along El Camino Real. But for his chocolate dark skin, Hemel had a chiseled feature of a GQ model. He wore expensive-looking glasses with a slight tint. On account of his looks and money, Hemel was one of those lucky kids who had prematurely dipped their tongues into the sweet honey of the opposite sex. Sometimes he worked as a desk clerk in the late afternoon, all by himself. The motel consisted of a L-shaped ground floor building, which housed about a dozen rooms. The rooms faced El Camino Real, with the parking lot in front. There was a drive-in entrance to the parking lot at one end and the exit at the other. To the left of the entrance, there was a reception area. When Harmel, JJ, and Jake walked back home together from school, Hemel dropped out early on the way since he lived in the rear housing building attached to the motel on El Camino. JJ and Jake had a further way to go towards the track, across El Camino. But, sometimes, Hemel invited JJ and Jake to stick around at his motel. On one of those days of such occasions, the 3 guys did some chores, or more accurately some light maid services work for the motel, including vacuuming and replacing the bed sheets. After about a half hour of doing the grunt work, Harmel got a room key from the reception desk and escorted the 2 to the room farthest from the entrance. With the curtain drawn, Harmel sat on the chair closer to the door, and JJ sat on the other chair. Jake lounged on the bed, tightly wrapped in the heavy-duty bed cover. Then Harmel whipped out a weed from the breast pocket of his racer jacket and lit it, and took in the first puff and passed it to Jake, who took a deep inhale and passed it to JJ. And the wheel rolled and rolled, with sporadic intermissions of imbibing Bud Light. Sometimes, Harmel popped in an adult VHS, and the 3 watched porn, high. The resolution quality wasn't that good due to its pirated nature, but Jake couldn't stop laughing when Hemel made such comments as,
"Shit.
There is no fucking way you could fuck like that. Okay. Once or twice maybe. You just don't have the angle."
And JJ said something like,
"Man, you can't, 'cause your dick ain't big enough."
Jake chuckled. Hemel slurred a comeback along the line of,
"Shit. Mine is big enough. A lot bigger than yours. You motherfucker."
The exchange of volleys as to who had a bigger cock went around like this, for a few times, while the ganji weed wrapped in the finest paper tagged along until it burnt itself out. Harmel had an impressive collection of porn, from Bollywood to Hollywood stuff, with plenty of underground materials as well. With the audio volume set to very low, Harmel popped in a new VHS, saying this was the hottest series, currently, featuring a very attractive and voluptuous blonde actress but with somewhat ambiguous ethnic features. Whipping out another joint from breast pocket, Harmel said,
"You gotta check her out. She's so hot. Check out her ass."
Jake glanced over to the TV stand, next to the TV, where a handful of adult VHS were stacked. Illuminated by the combined light of the TV and the sunbathed curtain, there was barely enough light to just make out the title cover. it said, featuring Hawaiian blonde bombshell, Candy Candice. After spending a couple of hours watching porn, hi, JJ said,
It's about time we mosey on out of here.
in a twang of the lampooned hard south. Jake almost busted out laughing but managed to refrain somewhat. He joined JJ and Harmel tidying up the room by quick vacuuming and dusting off. They left the room, blasting on the air cleaner and lighting the Southern Breeze incense. After saying something to the effect of
Later, dudes.
Harmel returned to manning the reception desk, and JJ and Jake went on their way home, across El Camino.
En route to Nova. Partry. Thank you for your viewership. Produced by Pacificatoris.